Lesson number 102 is our second part of adding like terms. And our first question says, are 2xy squared and 3y squared x and 7yxy like terms? Now we know like terms means that they have exactly the same variable. And it might be singular, the same variable, or it might be plural, the same variables. So what we're looking at here is to see if all of our variables are xy squared. Well, we've got xy squared, then we've got xy squared. Those are the same because order of multiplication doesn't matter. Then we have x, y, y, and we know y times y is y squared. So the answer to this question is, are they like terms? Yes, they are definitely like terms. If we wanted to simplify them, this problem doesn't ask us to do that, but we know we'd have xy squared as our variable. We've got to figure out how many xy squareds we have by looking at the coefficient, the number out in front. And we can see we have 2 plus 3 plus 7. Well, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 plus 7 is 12. So we'd have a grand total of 12 xy squareds if we were to fully simplify it. Let's look at another example. We've got to simplify again. This problem. Let's look at all of our terms with a variable of x. Let's find all the like terms here. 6x. Well, those are our only things with only x as the variable. So 4x plus 6x. That must be 10x. Then we can work across. And let's look at all of our variables first before we work with our constants. We have xy, and we have xy. Remember, order doesn't matter in multiplication. So if we look at how many xy's we have, well, we've got 2 and 3. That must be a total of 5, plus 5xy. Then we need to work with our constants. So we've got 3, 4, and 2. So remember, constants are just terms with no variables. So 3 plus 4 is 7, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So we're going to get plus 9 on the end. Well, we've got our final answer. That's all that we have to do with this type of problem. If you like to use different colored pencils, it can really help to show what those different variables are and how many of each you have. Let's look at our next problem. We're going to add like terms again. So let's go ahead and start with our first number with a variable. We've got x squared. Then we've got x times x. Well, x times x, that's the same as x squared. So we're going to underline this one as well with our orange color. We have no more x squareds. So we've got 3x squareds, 2x squareds, 3 plus 2, that's 5, so we get 5x squareds. Let's use green, and let's look at our x's. We've got 4 x's and 3 x's. That must be a total of 7 x's. So plus 7x. Then we'll look at our constants last. We've got 4 and 7. And 4 plus 7 is 11. So we've got our final answer. Our final answer for this problem, going wild with colors today. If you've got colored pencils, they can be very helpful with problems like this because it can help identify the variables. But again, the answer to this question is 5x squared plus 7x plus 11. Lesson practice will be on page 318. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.